I had an interesting conversation with some people last night about cryptocurrency, and
Oh.
there's still there still seems to be a school of thought that thinks cryptocurrency is going to save the world.
Yeah.
And I encountered a couple of them last night. Nice people, friends of mine. I like them. I've yet to be convinced, and no one's been able to sort of talk me out of the fact that it's a Ponzi scheme. In fact, one of them even said it right now it's a Ponzi scheme because it's operating like a Ponzi scheme. Like, money's going in at the bottom and it's going out at the top. That's how a Ponzi scheme works. It's a pyramid fucking kind of multi-level marketing kind of bullshit thing. And then another thing I heard was someone said that the European Central Bank rate hike of 0.5% was because of fucking Putin, which I find what Putin is like. I mean, is he now responsible for fucking everything? Does that make any sense? It certainly doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to blame him.
I guess, but
Yes.
I mean, is he really? I don't know. I suppose they needed somebody to blame, and that God forbid they should look at and listen to what we said on the show fucking earlier in the week about rampant fucking profiteering and price gouging by huge companies that are not being punished by the governments, and people like fucking Klaus Schwab and Christine Lagarde just being part of that whole cabal.
But also, Bitcoin's part of this financial structure, so who cares?
Absolutely fucking is as well.
You still have to take out that cash to go buy real stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that was my point. Is like
Who cares?
Like in the American Super Bowl, last February.
Crypto arena now.
Yeah, they had Larry David and Matt Damon each did a crypto ad for, I don't know, one was for Bitcoin and one was for, I don't know, maybe fucking Ethereum. Who the fuck knows? One of them anyway. And but I can guarantee you what those guys didn't get paid in for doing those fucking ads.
Bitcoin.
They got cash for that motherfucking shit. You know what I mean?
Didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, so it's just, I mean, it's fucking ridiculous, man. That people think that this is somehow, it's this whole notion that it's like what I was just saying to you before. I saw you doing the ordering of all your spirits and your beer and your stuff on a WhatsApp, and I used to do the ordering for my veg. I made a sheet, and I just you'd fill out 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever you needed of each thing, take a picture of it, and then send it in a WhatsApp message. And my boss was like, there's an app that'll do that for you. I was like, no, I guarantee you there's not an app that will do that for me. I was like, but this works just fine. Why does there have to be a fucking app for everything? I mean, I'm not being a fucking Luddite here, but really, just, and it's and it falls into this whole crypto thing as well. It's this notion that super smart guys have it figured out for us and they're going to fix all the fucking problems. And in the end of the day, really, they're just fucking con artists, fucking conning money out of you. They're fucking rent-seeking, yeah, they are. They're just rent-seeking, monopolists who are trying to, so somebody who designs an app, the people who design apps like Uber Eats, I hate those companies. They don't actually do anything or provide any service. They just get, they take a commission from the restaurants. They pay their drivers like shit.
Yeah.
And they make all the fucking money.
Because there is a new kind of movement with these apps and stuff, is that the client is also the product and the worker and the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the Airbnb,
Yeah.
Uber, Glovo,
Yeah.
all these places where, I mean, even our social media apps are like this.
I mean, somebody put it that way about Airbnb. The biggest hotelier in the world owns absolutely no real estate.
Exactly. One of the biggest, taxi services in the world and companies is Uber. They don't have any cars.
They don't have any cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and Uber's and these companies perpetually lose fucking money as well.
Or maybe they got it from the banking system. So the biggest
Yeah.
pushers of money or whatever, but actually don't have their own wealth.
Yeah. I mean, the Uber was all set up. The Uber driving thing and Uber and Lyft was all set up for automatic cars. That's what they're waiting for, the fucking driverless robot cars, so they can cut out having to pay the fucking
automation, baby.
Yeah, it's coming. You know what I mean?
It's here.
It's the way of the future.
Robot
You know what I mean?
waiters. I
And
told
so-
you.
and,
It's
and
here.
like, and then they say they're going to give us all like a universal basic income, which is basically to keep us just
Dead.
to just have enough money to spend money on the apps that we need to fucking survive. But like we have no, you know, it's just a subsistence wage from the government, and that's all they're going to give you. You know what I say? Forget about a universal basic income. What about just universal housing, universal power, universal health care, universal education, you know, all that shit.
Let people be a little bit
Yeah,
more
yeah.
creative with their work then. if
Exactly.
That's what you really want.
Exactly. Don't give them the fucking money. Just give them the stuff that they need the money for.
Yeah, but
you
the
know?
money is the way you sink them in, because then there's debt.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's all about that. Yeah. So, yeah, that was my two takeaways from the last couple of days. Is that like this fucking crypto fucking tech sort of obsession people have with like tech. Like tech is like just this amazing thing that we're never gonna. Yeah, we can't live without anymore. You know, you literally can't live without anymore. I brought my video camera. We're going to do a couple of video bits. It's the new surprise. There's a little teaser there. But, like, I wanted to get a remote control for the fucking video camera that I bought. And, you know, you can't get one now. But you know what you do? You get an app on your phone that acts as a remote control for your camera that you just bought. It's like, you know, so the video camera that I bought for €650, I can't get a remote control for it. I have to use a phone. And the phone that I have is too old
To do that.
to download the app. I need to get a new phone
Ah.
to do the app to run my fucking video camera's automatic feature.
I think that's just a really good trade secret.
It's to keep you like, you know, you've got to constantly keep
buying.
upgrading. You've got to keep upgrading and upgrading and upgrading and upgrading. You know what I mean? And you know, it's it's the world in which we live
I
now.
mean, car companies did that. There's cars that, I mean, they don't operate perfectly, and obviously they guzzle a lot of oil, but I mean, like now your car could be perfectly fine, and then the sensor doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you need to go get a change of a sensor.
Yeah, and that costs like ridiculous fucking.
It's
the key,
also really easy to
a
time
fucking-
that to not work.
like the fucking key. They have the smart keys
Yeah.
now, and they cost like fucking like a grand if you lose the
Or
fucking
you
thing,
could
man.
just go like this and
Yeah.
use a regular key.
Yeah, or you could just have had a regular key, and I don't understand
That
why.
makes you just want to smash a window
I,
and just
I,
drive the car.
I get it, man. I mean, I get that, like, you know, like, I'm considered like a fucking, like, you know, like a Luddite on these things. But I think there's some things like, I think we go ahead and, like, do things, and these tech guys, they go ahead and do things because they can and don't even stop to think whether they should
Yeah.
or whether we really fucking need it or whether, you know, do we really need, like, did we really need, like, fucking Uber and Lyft? I don't think we did.
No.
I think we do now. Everybody talks about how horrible taxis were and how smelly and full. Well, usually because it was a foreigner driving your taxi,
Right.
right? And now you get to like rate your fucking driver on Uber and Lyft and shit and all that. But like, you know,
Human beings have a really funny way, especially in the society that we have where most things are corrupt and based in corruption. If there's a problem that we have with a certain service or whatever, we almost, by improving it, make it worse.
yeah,
That's kind of our way.
yeah. And we generally go to improve things that don't really like it works fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
You like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But like, you know, there
we
used to be a
can't
lot
do
of
that.
corruption with taxi medallions and stuff. There used to be a lot of things like
Absolutely.
that. Okay. And the response is, all right, so let's get this app and everybody gets involved and da-da-da-da.
Why not fucking address the problems in the taxi
Because
industry?
we just can't.
Yeah.
We're
This
stupid.
is. I mean, I said this for fucking years. Like, like this. New York is a terrible fucking example, but it's like, you know, like I mean, it's a good example of what I'm talking about, but it's terrible what happened. Like
Right.
the taxi medallions were like, you know, like overnight became worthless.
Yeah, because it was like $1 million or something, right?
It was a lot. It was a lot. It wasn't. I don't think it was quite $1 million. I think maybe $500,000 for a taxi medallion.
Lot.
But yeah, it's a lot. But so like, what you would get is like you'd get 3 families. You
Yeah.
know, 3 guys.
And they'd work it
Generally
all.
speaking, the guys. And the guys would work the car 24 hours a day. They'd do 3-hour to 8-hour shifts.
Yeah.
And they'd get mortgages and they'd buy the taxis and they get this. And then, you know, and then they deregulated the taxi medallions. That was Bloomberg. And then and then Uber and Lyft came in and they just let Uber and Lyft come in and it decimated these
I
fucking
do kind of
people's lives,
respect
man.
that here, that they didn't let them in.
No, they're fair play to them. They fucking parked.
I don't know how they did that.
They parked on Grand Via for fucking the
They
whole
burned cars.
summer
Yeah.
in
That was-
2018.
Was it 2018 or
2019.
2019?
2019, yeah.
Because I remember it was during Primavera,
Yeah.
and we were actually hanging out with a dude who works for Uber, who was making the private planes. Like it was doing like a run where it would be like from Mykonos to to Barcelona to Amsterdam. It was like connecting party cities.
Okay.
And then me and Suji and Sinead actually clocked it that like, oh, I get it. You guys are kind of shut out with the taxis, so you can obviously offer shuttles
Right.
through Uber. And then they were going to have their private plane service.
Yeah,
Private
yeah, yeah,
plane.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
But
yeah.
the sadistic, the level of like, they have so much fun. They have so much money to infiltrate
Yeah.
with these things that look like, oh wow, great, like a little party line.
When they have like, and then they have there's leaders that just love that tech crowd, like your Macron and your fucking like Justin Trudeau and those guys. They love those tech people, and they just give them whatever they want. They let them in. They're fucking sitting there with them.
They're young.
Yeah.
They have money.
You're young and they're hip, and they play lip service to treating their employees better. But they don't really treat their employees better. They just give them a fucking like a ping pong table and a fucking beanbag chair to sit on and play fucking foosball, and but they don't fucking pay them any better. They don't fucking treat them any better, and all these companies like Lyft and Uber and shit. These people aren't like, they're not employees. They're just contractors. Do you know what I mean? They're subcontractors. Well, they're contractors, and they don't get they get no benefits. They pay no Social Security. They pay no. You know what I mean? It's not. It's like this libertarian kind of fucking dream that these guys have of just like commercializing the shit out of everything. Anyway. Sorry, I kind of got off the track. What was I talking about?
About just fucking financial,
just went on a
rape.
fucking. Right. Anyway, listen, we'll take a little break, and I'm going to try and pop in a video right after this part. So. Break there about
Josh Hawley.
Josh Hawley in the January 6th.
I think it's good TV.
It's a fucking clown show. I mean, the whole thing is a joke, man. It really is a joke.
TV.
It is. It's TV. It is TV. It's
Give
like.
it as much reverence as they do Law and Order.
But you know what reminded me more of? Like, I haven't really watched much of it, but I've looked at bits and I'm like, I can't fucking watch this. But it reminded me of American Crime Story. Like the OJ thing. You know what I mean? It's like that, only like
Real.
But
not less real.
But less real. It's just such a fucking distraction from all the awful shit that is going on, that that they should be fucking like really it's like fucking hair on fire fucking time, and they're fucking around with this bullshit, man. And it's just such a waste of time.
I actually love that. That is so funny. I mean, it would be great. I like the comparison to American Crime Story because it is like that. Especially when you see the headlines on CNN or MSNBC, it's so stylized. Like
Yeah.
the heroes are painted out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's fun. I like this one. It's fucking stupid. I wish they were doing their job, but they're not going to do it anyways.
Well, they never do their job anyway. They don't have to do their job, and they don't even pretend to do their job anymore. They just don't do it. They haven't gotten a fucking thing done. You know what I mean? Like they're all, like every promise, they like make all these promises and don't even make even the most like vain attempts at fulfilling those promises. They just fucking no, sorry, I'm not gonna do that.
There's so many committees and meetings and bullshit that you just know. Like regular people kind of know, like, at some point, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, so, and then, in the media, the media, it's so fucking bad. They eat this shit up, man. They think this is they eat this shit up. And, and God love it. I mean, I have, lots of friends and stuff who are, still have this, somehow they have this belief that the Democrats are some way better than the Republicans. Somehow, I don't know how they still believe that, but they do. And they, and they're they're all excited about these January 6th hearings. This is like saving our democracy and shit. And, it just fucking isn't.
I love it. The Democrats don't do anything.
No.
Actually, they do worse than don't do it. They do shit.
Yeah, but they tell you they're going to do shit and then they don't do it.
The Republicans tell you they're going to do stuff, and they will. It takes 50 years to get Roe out of the way. They'll do it.
We're going to do fucked up shit to you every time we get elected, and they do. And, that's why they keep getting reelected.
Yeah, and they stoke the fire.
It's like this thing, in England, I have to correct in Britain, I have to correct my statement from a week or two ago about how I thought there were 5,000 members of the Conservative Party who elect the Prime Minister, who are going to elect the next prime minister, but actually it's 120,000. Still, by no means any kind of a democracy.
How many people are in them? 80 million?
65, I think.
Oh, okay.
So the 120,000 people are going to, and the same 120,000 people that chose the last four fucking assholes are going to choose another asshole, and it's going to be Liz Truss, by the way. She's going to be the one.
She's going to be the prime minister.
Yeah, she's like she's going to promise them to cut everybody's taxes again, and so they love that. Because it's the elite, it's the the people who are in the 120,000 that are members of the Conservative Party. Every single one of them is rich.
Yeah.
Every single one of them owns property. Every single one of them has stocks and shares, and so like they make money on dividends and all that kind of shit. So they can cut the capital gains tax and all that shit, and they just put that out there like fucking like red meat every time, and they're going to vote for her, and they're going to put her in power, and she will keep those promises. She will cut the taxes down. So they want to cut the corporation tax rate down to like 15%. It was 34% under Margaret Thatcher, and they cut it down. They want to cut it down to 15% because it'll create jobs. Now let's keep in mind that let's keep in mind that under Margaret Thatcher it was 34%, and they continuously cut it to create jobs, and they're in a worse fucking state now than they were when fucking Thatcher left office. So it's like once again it's like it's just so like they don't give a shit anymore. They're not even like. I don't even think they're going to roll out that like job creators bullshit anymore. They're just going to look, we're just going to cut taxes for rich people because we like them, and they vote for us, and that's it. And fuck the rest of these.
Trickle down.
Yeah, trickle down. Yeah. And then anyway, and then it's another interesting thing in British politics was this thing called the Ford Report came out about the Labour Party and how they were like. How scandalously they treated Jeremy Corbyn, and how they were all had a sort of cabal of people to, they sort of just the right leaning, the sort of Blair right wing of the Labour Party, like all the fucking dirty, nasty tricks that they did to undermine Jeremy Corbyn, and people for years have been saying, no, that's not true, that's just not true, and blah blah blah, and it comes out in this fucking report by a fucking QC, like a barrister. This guy Ford, and all the shit that they were saying, yeah, it's true. The right wing of the Labour Party, the Blair wing of the Labour Party, were just like underhanded and just filthy, dirty tricks and shit, just to make sure that Corbyn didn't get elected. So essentially, they gave you Boris Johnson. In fairness, if you think about it.
Oh yeah.
And in typical fucking fashion, the regular fucking media, like the BBC and the Guardian, they're not touching it because it contradicts everything that they've gone along with for the last fucking 5 years.
And it proves they're shit journalists.
Yeah, and it proves that they're absolute shit journalists. They're the worst fucking journalists.
Or that they just have no interest in the truth. They're probably just not journalists.
No, they're not. They're bought and paid for. They're corporate shills, and yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, they're people who promote propaganda.
Yeah. So.
I mean. Yeah, that is why sometimes I just have to look at it like a really bad Dick Wolf episode.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So that was.
The problem is, you're right. People engage in that as some kind of truth.
Yeah, that was my kind of media and politics fucking take for what I've seen in the last few days. Like the nonsense of that January 6th hearing, which is just a complete and utter distraction, and then the same basic bullshit is going on in the UK. I mean, it's not going to change. The UK is not going to change. You're going to get another shitty leader. It's going to be Liz Truss, because she's just an absolutely awful human being. And there's no way the other guys. I'm sorry. The Conservatives in fucking Tory land are not going to put the brown guy in charge. They're just never going to do that, man.
Oh, who is this guy again?
Rishi Sunak. He's a fucking multi-billionaire. I mean, fuck's sake.
I mean, it's not like he's going to be helping out. Right?
No, hell no. I mean, he's not going to fucking help the fucking poor people, but still, they don't want to have a brown guy. It doesn't sit well at the country club. You know what I mean? I'm so sure of that. Oh, and you never know. Stranger things have happened. We got Barack Obama, so you know what I mean? I never thought that would happen. But then the reason that happened, it became very obvious when, like, nobody, like, in the biggest fucking, like, financial crime in the century.
And they made a black guy do it.
And the black guy didn't put anybody in jail. He didn't put any of the white bankers in jail. I mean, that's one I lost with Obama.
It would have been dope if he did, huh?
It would have been fucking great, man.
It would have been shocking.
It would have
I
been
would've
shocking.
liked
It would have been shocking, and they probably would have had him assassinated.
Yeah, even the mention of it.
Yeah. Because I mean, like Jamie Dimon plays golf with fucking Barack Obama, but Jamie Dimon should be in a prison cell. Let's just get that fucking straight right now. It's gonna fucking CEO of the JP Morgan Chase.
Right.
He should be in a prison cell. You know what I mean? But but when we listen, it's okay because when the revolution happens, they're all going to Davos because we're turning Davos into a fucking maximum security prison. It's gonna be like it'll be like kind of like the prison, like the way they turned Manhattan into a maximum security prison and Escape from New York. So it'll be Davos, but they're all too fat and doughy and pudgy and to actually escape. You know what I mean? So we don't really have to do much on it. Just fucking close the roads. Because just don't let them have phones so they can't Uber their way out of it, and it's fine. And just leave them there.
Ooh, side note. Okay, so I saw this thing the other day. I want to send it to you. I forgot. I saved it. I'll find it. They found like a list of people associated with Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, great.
Like, these are people who obviously must have been to his house.
Okay.
You know who popped up on there? Your friend.
Klaus.
No.
Henry Kissinger.
Yeah.
Oh. But I mean, I don't know how Henry
How is he getting it up?
yeah. But I mean, he was a fucking hound back in the day.
This is the real story.
Yeah.
What
No,
has he got?
he was a dog back in the day, man. Like, there was, Peter Sellers and Henry Kissinger were like both like, there was like a tug of war over, Britt Eckman had a tug of war over Henry Kissinger, and I'm telling you, this was he was a fucking dog back in his day.
I mean, but he still, if he was doing this shit in the 90s, 80s, 90s, and Epstein would have been doing this.
Yeah, he would have been like quite old.
Still quite old.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I mean, okay, even. Let's be fucking fair. Like, he'd been in his 70s.
He's gonna be 100 this year. His next birthday will be 100.
Fuck.
Yeah.
He'd been in his 70s.
Would have been in the 70s.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we're good for you.
I'm not surprised. Who else is on the list? Anybody else interesting?
No, like weird stuff, like Elizabeth Hurley and other people. Who else? There was somebody else on there that was creepy to me. Charlie Sheen was not on it. That surprised me.
I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised?
Yeah,
he
he's
was on
not that. He's not in that. He's not in that kind of like. He
it?
doesn't.
Elizabeth
travel
Hurley
that
was a
circle.
weird one to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple other ones.
I
And
mean,
then all
the
the
guy-
ones you
But
suspect.
the guy was a fucking mover and shaker. Like, the guy was like nobody knows how he got his money. Like, there's no fucking.
I think he.
Yeah. I mean, we speculate that he was blackmailing the fuck out of all these people.
What's that?
Les Wexner.
Yeah.
But like,
You
there's
don't
no.
steal money like that from nobody.
Yeah, but there's no fucking proof that there's no. Well, if there is, it's been hidden away. Like the fucking all the tapes and fucking DVDs and shit that the
Where is that shit?
The FBI took it and just fucking disappeared. All the hard drives, all the discs. All there was there's like fucking all these like he had fucking secret cameras in all the rooms of his fucking
I think
house.
Hillary Clinton has it.
I God knows, you know what I mean?
Just
I'm
kidding.
sure she fucking does.
Just kidding.
You know,
Just
picture of
kidding.
fucking Hillary Clinton eating a baby.
Eh.
Wouldn't surprise me. She's fucking evil now.
You sound like this dude. You know the dude, he's over there in Fastnet. Shane, you
Oh, Shane. Yeah.
swears that he saw a video of an 8-year-old skin on her face.
Yeah.
Dancing around on an island. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. Maybe?
Yeah, you never know.
Fucking hell.
Anyway, so that was pretty much. Okay, that's pretty much.
Pretty much a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I wanted to ask you about this. You know, there's this porn star named Mia Khalifa.
The name sounds familiar. She's like an Arab. She's like the Arabic.
That's why she was controversial years
Yeah,
ago
yeah,
when she was
yeah,
still
yeah,
working.
yeah.
She
Very
did-
large breasts.
Imagine
Yeah,
study,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. Very large breasts. Side note. So the thing is, she came out, she's gone on some controversy because she did an interview and they were talking about selling your bodies and stuff and all the issues that come along with it. And she said that if anybody sells their bodies, it's the soldiers and army members who go off to war.
Okay. What is that? What does she mean by that?
Well, because they were talking about sex workers, they were talking about people on OnlyFans, they were talking about porn stars, she was talking about the industry, she was talking about like the conservative backlash to, the idea of selling your bodies, the idea of like abortion and ownership over your body.
Okay.
Okay, so then it went further and she made this comment about it. People went fucking mental.
Okay.
But she made a point. She's like, you know, if anything, if you're a soldier, you're selling your body to the government, and you're just doing it on any day where you could be killing other people.
Oh yeah, okay. She's got a point.
She got a point, and then she said, you know, just to go somewhere and destabilize the country because somebody decided they want to make a big deal out of crude oil.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she's got a point. She's throwing some geopolitical shit in there, you know what I mean?
She did. She threw it, and I think a lot of people were surprised. And she kept going further to say, like, you know, she's not necessarily saying that it's not for everybody to be on OnlyFans because maybe you haven't had your digital footprint out there.
Excuse my ignorance. OnlyFans is like a porn.
It's not just porn.
Like a chat.
No, it's not. It's almost like if you had Instagram with sexual content. Or you could have sexual content, you could have things that are a bit more explicit, but people pay to see more content. Like you have to join, you have to have a membership.
Okay.
So you have different, you know, instead of following an Instagram profile, you're finally following a profile on OnlyFans, and like you might get more exclusive content by paying more.
Okay.
So you know you can put the rate of pictures or videos.
Right. Okay.
But it's not only sexual content, but yeah, So obviously it's a big deal at the moment because people see that as kind of a way of legalizing prostitution in a sense, even though you're not actually fucking anybody.
Right. Okay.
It's weird.
Yeah, but it's like again, it's like the YouTube of porn, essentially. Kind of, you know?
No, because it's more about you following a profile or a person.
Okay.
And the fact is, it gives a lot of people power. They say because you know the idea of like eradicating the pimp.
I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think it's probably
not that. I mean, the internet has helped women eradicate.
Yeah. I mean, like it's kind of like if you have more agency over your thing and you don't have like a pimp, like you know, I mean, yeah, I guess it's probably better or I don't know, or an alternative.
If you want to do it and nobody's forcing you to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's that too. I mean, you know, it's like like the woman who was in Deep Throat, Linda Lovelace. She came back years later and said she was raped and she was forced into doing all that shit.
Fuck, really?
Yeah, she's kind of like
really.
Svengali kind of like guy. He kind of like forced her into doing all that shit that she did in those movies that she didn't really want to do, but she did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I think that it was really interesting that she brought this out because she's kind of like talking about the fact of it's really hard to. They were talking about this on the show as well, commenting about her, and they were like saying how like it's getting harder and harder to recruit younger people to get into the military.
Yeah, because
why?
Why? Yeah.
And just the idea of people selling, like, before it was like, you can make your life, your career, go to college, you get to travel.
Or you could do TikTok videos and
you could travel.
Yeah, and
you could do whatever.
And
it was just this conversation about agency.
And I think part of the problem that the U.S. military has in recruiting people now is, like they used to sell it to you, like the people of my generation and maybe like the next generation after me, they'd sell it to you on the fact that, like, well, you can get an education. And now an education doesn't fucking mean anything. Because you can get a fucking education and still not get a fucking job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not the key to a better life.
It's not opening doors anymore.
No.
You know? Like people get educations and wind up working for fucking nothing for 2 years and like internships and shit.
Yeah, and she made kind of an argument that like with OnlyFans she has enough money that there's some girls who are doing it who are new. She wasn't necessarily supporting people just getting into that part of the industry, but she was saying that like at least you have enough money to take care of yourself. Like you have to take care of your body. Whereas before you were really like, they give you coke, they give you this, they do that.
Yeah.
But now it's different. You have to be like a lifestyle brand, and you got to be healthy.
That's what Linda Lovelace was talking about with the coercion, like the drugs and all that shit, and just like kind of like almost like a brainwashing kind of experience that she had.
Break a girl in basically.
Break her down, break her spirit.
Yeah.
And then just pump her full of drugs.
But she was saying, but she made some good points. And she was like, well, if you join the military, and she's like, these are the people who are judgmental. These are the people who are like, saying, like, she said, these are the part of the people in the establishment who judge people like us. But she said it's something interesting. But when they wanted to get the recruits all excited and whatever, they sent Marilyn Monroe in, right, to get them all excited.
This is true. Yeah,
it was really interesting to hear her perspective. This is a person done with porn.
Do you remember that bit? There's that bit in Apocalypse Now with that. Was that Apocalypse Now? It wasn't Apocalypse Now, or was it? Was it Full Metal Jacket? I think it was Apocalypse Now.
Okay. Where Marilyn Monroe's
I don't know if it was Marilyn Monroe, but it was like just a pin-up girl. that came down. And I'm not sure which movie it was. It was one of the Vietnam movies that did talk about that.
I found it fascinating because then I thought, okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Like recruitment numbers are down or whatever, that makes a lot of sense. Like people are finding other ways to support themselves and also not trusting in the traditional system and the ways to get it. Like, okay, you have to go to college. If you can't afford to go to college, you go to the military, then you go to college. People are not believing it.
They've stopped believing. They've stopped believing the bullshit. You know what I mean? The mythology's not working anymore because because they've got there's empirical evidence in front of them that just isn't true anymore.
I mean, they won't even take care of your body if you get hurt.
No, they won't. I mean, the fucking veterans are fucking terrible.
Those VA prevention affairs hospitals or something like that.
I watched these guys do this fucking breakdown of Avatar from like a socialist, leftist, communist point of view, how this guy had come back from war, and the only way they couldn't, he went to do this thing as an avatar, because they could fix him, but he didn't have the money to get fixed. So he lost the use of his legs, and she said, if you go and do this mission, we'll make sure you go put you in the thing and you can get your legs fixed. You know what I mean? And it was an interesting takedown.
Oh, wow.
Viewpoint of, because James Cameron is very sort of lefty, his fucking.
James Cameron is lefty, isn't he?
He kind of is, yeah. I mean,
Well,
it's like Skynet. Well, he is, yeah. Skynet and shit. I mean, he came up with like the Terminators. The Terminator movies were all his original stories.
Right.
You know what I mean? Anyway, so we go back to I always get back to science fiction somehow. It's the shit, man. It's really, really good. Have you seen this new one called The Orville?
No.
It's with the guy from fucking Family Guy. The guy Seth MacFarlane. Yeah, and it's and he plays the captain of the ship. But I can't stop thinking that it's fucking Peter from fucking Family Guy. You know what I mean? It's just it's fucking ridiculous. I'm like, dude, just who gave you the money to do this, man? I thought it was going to be funny.
It wasn't.
No, it's like a serious Star Trek type show.
His teeth are too white.
Yeah, but he said it's Peter Griffin. I'm sorry, he's just Peter Griffin. That voice is just like Peter Griffin. I expect him to fucking, just
be Peter Griffin.
Be Peter Griffin and just do something incredibly fucking stupid, man. But he's playing a starship captain. It's fucking bizarre. Man.
Really?
It's like a Star Trek knockoff.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, it is. Man.
He's creepy. His face is creepy.
Yeah, his face is creepy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No.
I hate his voice. It's like that. Is it New England accent? It's supposed to be with Peter, but it's not.
Yeah, it's kind of like that road. He's trying to do a kind of. He does what Peter does, a kind of real Rhode Island, but it's still his voice, man.
Yeah.
It's that fucking Rhode Island accent. It's like a peculiar, offshoot of the Boston accent.
Yeah, but with his white teeth and shit, it's super.
Yeah, and it's all these fucking. It's and they're all sort of fucking recycled Star Trek fucking stories, man. And why? Who gave you the money for this? And why did it need to be done? And there's tons of
nerd.
Yeah, he is a super nerd.
So
I get that. Yeah. So he came up with this idea. I suppose he made so much money on Family Guy that they were do whatever you want.
Wow. Oh my god.
But they have all these mad fucking scenes with the ships, and it's all this amazing orchestral music, and it's they go on for maybe 15 seconds, way longer than they should.
Oh, okay.
And it's just these ships and shit. It's all CGI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's I'm not impressed. This is not impressing me. You know what I mean? It's like the science pictures from the fucking
harder to
telescope.
make movies nowadays.
Which reminds me, actually, we're going to be doing right after this. I'm going to do a video thing with me and Pablo doing a little bit about science.
You should just call it "Here Comes the Science Bit."
Here comes the science bit. So yeah, we're going to do that. So stay tuned, and you can watch that right away after this.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye.
Distinction of different kind of spices for the global warming.
Okay.
They said it will be only one kind of every spice, only one. It will be not diversity. So it will be one bird, one dog, one.
Oh, species.
Yeah.
Species. Okay.
Yeah, it will be one kind. So it will be every bird will be the same bird.
Okay.
Or
Hey, there's too many fucking birds anyway.
Yeah, but
it's annoying. I mean, why do we need so many different kinds of birds?
No, but the thing is, which bird would be the one?
They should have the way I was saying about the Tory Party conference. They should have we should vote on which bird gets to stay.
But as we see how democracy works, probably would be the worst one. It would be.
Oh shit! Oh, absolutely. It'd be a fucking seagull.
Yeah.
Seagulls will be the only fucking
Yeah.
bird, and they're the biggest asshole bird that there fucking is the only bird that's left in the whole.
Yeah,
fucking
and
world
they
is
would
gonna
be
the
called
asshole.
birds, not seagulls.
Yeah, they're what you call birds. Yeah.
That's what they said will be the future. If they,
Okay.
if they go
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
And maybe the only insect will be cockroaches for sure.
Oh, for sure.
The
The
insect.
big ones.
Yeah, the
The
big,
big
ones.
ones.
That will be the
The
insect.
only insect. Yeah. And so like, I'm like, there'll only be one kind of dog then. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be that little one that goes.
Yeah.
That never shuts up. Yeah. No, that's. I see that's the world. You know, that's
That's
probably
the-
the world.
that's
we're
the
coming into.
future.
Yeah.
And what about you? What do you got about?
I saw a thing about beavers being protected species in England and the UK, and you know I thought that was like, first of all, like beaver's just a funny word to me because I'm from America, and beaver means a woman's genitals is a beaver.
Let's see, kind of
So-
unprotected.
Yeah. So, but the wording of the thing was that like it would be now a crime to kill, capture, move, or disturb a beaver, and I just without a license. So you can get a beaver disturbance license in the UK now, which is kind of I don't know. I just thought that was
We
funny.
can go deeper and deeper.
You can, yeah.
It opens a lot of
Yeah. So
doors.
I thought that was funny and very like sciencey.
Yeah, you can leave it open because it open so many ways to fall into each joke with beavers and.
I was gonna go. I had a load.
You want to go?
I have a load.
Open the door.
I have a load.
Open the gate and go.
Well, there used to be this TV show in America called Leave It to Beaver, right? And it's about this family, a 1950s family in America, right? And their kid was called the Beaver. And there's one episode that everybody fucking quotes where, like, the father was like yelling at the beaver, the kid, the beaver, right? The night before, sent him to bed, right? And then the next morning, the wife brings the father the coffee and says, Ward, you were very rough on the beaver last night. So that become this like, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So like, so whenever I hear beaver, I can only think of like just funny shit about beaver. You know what I mean? I can't take a beaver story seriously. You know what I mean? It's impossible for me to do that. So that's why that's good up.
For our Spanish speaker community and viewers, it's not beaver and Justin Bieber.
No, it's not Justin Bieber. No.
It's a different pronunciation.
It's a different. It's with a uve.
Uruguay.
Uve, not that. Uve,
Yeah,
not
but
that.
how do you pronounce it? If you pronounce it?
Beaver and beaver.
Oh.
See, because in Spanish you have the v and the b. You don't have the v and the b. They're both the same. They sound the same. But in English it's beaver. Yeah. And that was a fascinating science story for me. But that's only because I was like very crass and have a very childish 14-year-old adolescent sense of humor. So.
And what about this mix of sports and science?
Oh, Cristiano Ronaldo getting his balls shot up with Botox?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
This mix of what? I think it's-
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to think of how I would write the headline. Big prick gets prick for bigger prick. I think that should be the headline for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so that was interesting. Yeah, it's kind of melding the science and
Do
school
you think
together.
it affects his performance as a sportman?
As a footballer, I don't know. I mean, it could do. I mean, you could trip over it if they made it that big. You know what I mean? It could be difficult to run, and you know.
He can be in the barrier
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
with the hands back. You know, he
Yeah.
has no problem for.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I suppose you could like because it's Botox, so it means it's desensitized. So I wouldn't imagine it would be very pleasurable to have that done to your, you know, unless I guess he's so vain that probably doesn't really matter to him. You know what I mean? I don't know.
We must check with science.
We must see what science is going to say about it. Yeah. The science, you know, is
Is the answer.
It's the answer. You know, like somebody's going to come up with an app to make your dick bigger. Because tech boys are going to come up with a dick app that tells you, like, I don't know how it's going to work, but science and tech.
Big app.
They
Like
an
WhatsApp.
app, like an app on your phone.
How we call it?
I don't know.
Big app.
Dick app.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. find my dick. No. Where's my dick?
Beaver app is quite easy, isn't it?
The beaver app is that's no problem.
Yeah, yeah. It's already we've already talked about it.
Yeah,
It's already solved.
It's called Pornhub.
For sure, it's already there.
Yeah. So yeah, there was that science bit and science and sport bit, and yeah, I don't know. I guess.
Well, I read also about when China wanted to kill all the sparrows. It was a BBC.
Okay. Yeah. This is with your bird. Back to the original story.
It's coming back to the birds.
Yeah. Okay.
It was because they say they eat too much food, or too much
Grain.
Yeah.
Much grain. Yeah.
So they
yeah,
decided to kill them all.
No, I mean, why not? I mean, you know.
No, but they haven't problem. They almost succeed.
Okay.
But they came another grasshopper and they ate the grain anyway.
Yes.
So they brought them back from.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. So like you kill all the birds, and then the grasshoppers come and eat all the fucking thing, and the birds. There's no birds to eat the grasshoppers.
But in the future, will be if you kill the bird, the insect will come.
Yeah.
So it will be only one bird and only one insect.
It'll be like there'll be giant bugs as well, like in Starship Troopers.
That's it. But the insect will be the grasshopper, and the bird the sparrow.
Yes. Yeah. I think somebody will figure out a way to make a bird more like a grasshopper and a grasshopper more like a bird, and it'll just get out, and then eventually it'll just be a bird hopper or a grasserd or
A grass bear.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, eventually we'll just get down to like one species on the planet. There'll be like a mix of every species, all in like one.
Or only one animal.
One animal. That's what I mean.
With all the spices in one animal.
Everything, all the species in one animal.
Yeah, it would be like a beaver with. See that?
A beaver with wings and those jumping legs like a grasshopper. So it's like a beaver with wings and jumping grasshopper, but he gets to keep his tail. Because that's the iconic beaver thing is the tail.
And they make those things,
and they make the dams, and they'll make giant ones, and they'll use them to like make dams so like they can do hydroelectric power to make more laboratories, to make more animal hybrids of weird animals.
So the next step is one kind of every animal, one kind of every spice.
Every species,
Yeah, and the next step of that step is only one animal.
Only one animal, yeah. We're gonna all that, because it's like like we have to consolidate. You know what I mean? It's like it just makes sense. It's like we're being like more efficient if it's just one animal.
Yeah.
Because then you only have to have
So
one
you
type
make
of
the
food, one type of fucking place,
And you
one
can
kind of place to live.
you can build the beaver.
You can milk a beaver.
Exactly. Café con leche.
Exactly. With beaver leche. Yeah. It's. I mean, it's the future, and it's definitely happening, and that's and I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I think it's going to be helpful for all of us. I mean, because
I can imagine the ships fishing the animal.
Yeah.
So it would be.
Yeah. So, but there was only going to be one fish, one type of fish.
No, it would be in one animal.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So it would be.
So like a beaver. With
You were thinking the next step, not two step ahead.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
If you're talking to the future,
Yeah.
it's only one animal. So,
Yeah.
So they would fishing the animal.
So, but then the guys on the boat are going to be the same animal.
No, it's human, not animals. It's God decided.
Oh, God. So humans are still there, right?
Yeah.
But there's only one animal. Okay, because I thought it was going to be, that would be a bit fucked up. If there were
one-
certain guys on the boat that were the same animal as the animal they were fishing.
No,
That's a bit.
we're not animals.
Yeah. No,
You know the creation.
we're
This is science. So
okay,
it's
true. Science.
Yeah, it's
Science.
creation.
Science.
God made us humans
That's
to
right.
dominate
That's right.
the animals.
Right. So
It was like 400 years ago.
yeah, and God would have liked it that way. So like we're just finishing His work.
Yeah.
Because we're making it more efficient. I mean, this is what God really originally would have wanted. But you know what? He only had 7 days, and He got to rest on one of them. So
Yeah.
He had the 6, where He did all that shit, and then on the 7th day He had to rest. So He didn't have time to like consolidate all the animals. So we're going to do that for Him. Just it's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a very good idea.
Yeah, it's a good
So
idea.
you have a can, and you open the can, and we meat of animal. Or,
It'll just say meat. Say meat.
Yeah.
Or even food. Maybe with F-U with the umlaut and a D.
But they didn't talk about the vegetable, This.
But we even need vegetables. We've got like an animal that can do it. Can't we like make the animal like have, I don't know,
Yeah, because in my mind was
carrots for fingers or something.
because in my mind was a paella, no?
Okay.
So it's rice and animal.
Yeah.
But if the rice is the vegetable, if in the next step, that's more complicated.
It's more complicated.
Just let all the other scientists think about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, science has to figure it out.
They know what's going to happen.
It's what these guys do, man. They're going to figure it out. It's going to be fine.
And the virus.
Oh, there's a, monkeypox. I actually saw a video of a guy with monkeypox. And he was like saying that you have to take monkeypox seriously. This was again on the BBC. You know, the BBC likes to tell you, like, it's kind of not sciencey. Well, it is sciencey because it's a virus. But the BBC likes to keep you scared all the time. So like they had this guy, he had a monkeypox right on his fucking nose, man. Big red fucking monkeypox, right?
Or a kind of tribute to BBC.
Yeah. I think the BBC is the most amazing news organization ever created. They are just like when it comes to journalism, they are the most outstanding outfit ever created. And they do such a good job. And their science bit is just amazing. I've learned so much just reading the science page.
Like we're like the tribute band to Queen, or
yeah,
we're a tribute to BBC
we're
Science.
a tribute to BBC Science. Yeah. That's I mean I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for BBC Science reporting. And that's a fact. So this show is like a tribute to, sponsored by Australia Elysium, by the way.
So what we're supposed to go. Science.
Yeah, well, I think that was our first block of science, so hopefully everybody enjoyed it.
In fact, it's the second.
The second, now we did one, but with this one's with video. So, hopefully everybody enjoys it.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Yeah, more science.